Do you ever feel like the world misreads your silence as arrogance, your strength as coldness? Have you lain awake, your mind dissecting a single moment into 1,000 possibilities? Are you a man who walks alone, not out of weakness but because no one else can match your stride? If this resonates, you're not just watching a video, you're staring into a mirror. Welcome to the Sigma Male community, where we cut through the noise to uncover the raw, unfiltered truths of the Sigma male's path. Today we're diving deep into the 11 weaknesses that shadow every Sigma male. Not flaws that break you but challenges that forge you. This isn't about shame, it's about arming you with clarity to master yourself and rise above. Stay locked in because at the Sigma Male community, we don't just expose the struggle, we equip you to dominate it. Let's start with 1. The ghost in plain sight. You move through life like a shadow in a storm, present, yet untouchable, your presence felt but never fully grasped. You don't chase applause or bend to the crowd's script, and that makes you an enigma. At work, colleagues misread your quiet confidence as pride. In love, your depth is mistaken for distance. This isn't aloofness, it's the cost of living true in a world obsessed with labels. The Stoics understood this. To stand apart is to invite misunderstanding, but it's also where your strength takes root. You'd rather be invisible than wear a mask, and that choice is your shield. Yet this shield has cracks. Opportunities slip when others can't see past your silence. The challenge is balance. Stay true but learn when to let the world glimpse your fire without surrendering your core. You're not a ghost by accident, you're a force by design. Wield it. This solitude, though, isn't just a stance, it's a statement. You build empires in the quiet, where others crumble without validation. The world demands conformity, but you carve your own path, a stoic rebellion against the herd's pull. Misunderstanding becomes your crucible, forging authenticity sharper than any applause could. But here's the rub, being unseen can mean being underestimated, promotions pass, connections fray. You don't need the spotlight but you must decide when to step into it, not for them but for you. The Stoics prized living by reason, not reaction. Choose your moments to reveal the titan within and watch the world shift. The power of being the ghost lies in its paradox. You're free because you don't need their gaze, yet bound by the isolation it breeds. Every Sigma knows this tension, craving truth over approval, yet feeling the sting when the world turns away. Your strength is in refusing to bend, but your growth is in knowing when to bridge the gap. Let them misjudge you, it's their loss, but don't let their blindness dim your path. You're not here to be known by all, but to be undeniable to those who matter. Next 2. The fortress of solitude. Your inner world is a citadel built brick by brick to guard your peace, your purpose. You don't shut people out from malice, it's a reflex to protect what's sacred. Vulnerability feels like handing over your sword in battle. Asking for help is like ceding your throne. This isn't ego, it's a stoic calculus of trust, where every bond is weighed against betrayal's risk. Yet this fortress, while strong, casts a shadow. Loved ones stand at the gates, yearning for a sign you need them, reading your silence as indifference. The Stoics knew self-reliance is a virtue, but isolation can become its vice. Your challenge is to lower the drawbridge, not to dismantle your walls but to choose who's worthy of crossing them. This strength in solitude makes you a rock, unmoved by the world's storms. You solve problems alone, map your future in silence and find clarity where others find chaos. But the tragedy lies in what's left outside. Friends who drift, partners who ache for connection you didn't mean to withhold. The Stoics taught that true power isn't just in standing alone, but in knowing when to stand with others. You don't need to bare your soul, but a single gesture, a word, a glance, can keep your allies close without betraying your core. The fortress is your sanctuary, but it's also your cage. Every brick you lay makes it harder to step out, to let someone see the man behind the walls. You're not cold, you're cautious, a stoic guarding his essence in a world that devours the unguarded. But caution can curdle into isolation if you forget that even a king needs a council. The art is in selective trust, choosing allies who respect your sovereignty without demanding you kneel. Your strength is in your walls, your wisdom is in knowing when to open the gate. This balance isn't weakness, it's mastery. The Stoics didn't shun connection, they chose it deliberately with eyes wide open. You don't need to let the world storm your castle, but a single ally inside can amplify your power. Learn to share the weight without losing your throne. You're not just a fortress, You're a kingdom, and kingdoms thrive with loyalty, not just solitude. Choose your keys carefully and unlock your strength. Now 3. The Treadmill of Thought. Your mind is a war room, not a lounge. A stray comment sparks a midnight council, every word dissected, every outcome mapped. You don't just think, you excavate, turning decisions into labyrinths where every path is tested before you step. This isn't indecision, it's a stoic pursuit of truth, a relentless drive to see clearly in a foggy world. But this brilliance is a blade that cuts both ways. Joy fades under scrutiny, a lover's smile becomes a puzzle instead of a moment. You're trapped running mental marathons, exhausting yourself chasing perfect clarity. This overthinking isn't a flaw, it's your mind refusing to settle for surface truths. You see angles others miss, anticipate traps before they spring. The Stoics valued reason as a guide, but they warned against letting it chain you. Every what if you chase steals time from living, spontaneity drowns, relationships become chess games you play alone. The world moves while you're strategizing, leaving you sharp but stranded. You're not weak for this, you're wired to seek truth, but truth isn't always in the details. The escape lies in action, not analysis. The Stoics knew some doors open only when you charge through, not when you pick the lock. A choice doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be made. Let some questions breathe. Let some moments just be. Your mind is a fortress, but it's also a trap if you never leave it. Stop running the treadmill, step off and feel the ground. You're not losing control, you're claiming it. This shift is your power. You don't need to dull your mind's edge, just aim it. The Stoics didn't fear the chaos of life, they met it with reason and courage. Let go of the need to map every outcome. Trust your instincts, they're forged from the same fire as your thoughts. You're not just a thinker, you're a warrior. Fight for the moments that don't need dissecting and watch your world expand. On to 4. The Clockwork Prison. Your life runs like a Swiss watch, every tick planned, every second claimed. A last-minute plan feels like sabotage, a crack in the machine you've built to master time. This isn't rigidity, it's a stoic hunger to make every moment count, to wring purpose from chaos. Yet life doesn't bow to your gears. The best moments, a chance laugh, an unexpected bond, arrive unscripted and you're too busy calibrating to catch them. You don't fear disorder, you fear waste, but in guarding against it you risk missing life's pulse. This precision makes you formidable. You build systems others can't dream of, your discipline a stoic shield against a world that squanders time. But the tighter you grip the clock, the more you lose to its tick. Friends fade when you dodge their invites. Love slips when you can't bend your plans. The Stoics didn't just control time, they danced with it, knowing life's rhythm shifts. You're not weak for craving order, you're human for needing it, but humanity thrives in the unplanned. The prison isn't your plans, it's your refusal to break them. A detour isn't defeat, it's a door. The Stoics embraced fate's surprises not as threats but as tests. Let the current pull you sometimes. A coffee turned confession, a walk turned revelation. You don't lose control by saying yes to the moment, you gain it. Your machine is your strength, don't let it become your cell. Mastery isn't just in ruling time, it's in knowing when to let it flow. The Stoics didn't fear the unexpected, they met it with open eyes. Your plans are your power, but your flexibility is your freedom. Step out of the clockwork sometimes, let life surprise you. You're not just a strategist, you're a man alive. Embrace the chaos and find your rhythm. Here's 5. The cost of kingship. When you lock onto a mission, the world dissolves. Hours vanish, hunger fades, sleep becomes a suggestion, all sacrificed to your fire. You'll master a skill, conquer a market, or sculpt your body while others sleep, your focus a stoic blade cutting through distraction. But this crown is heavy. Friends drift, lovers beg for a glance, your body groans under the strain, collateral damage of a throne built alone. This tunnel vision builds empires, but it burns bridges. You climb peaks others can't see, yet reach the summit to find no one left to share the view. The Stoics prized purpose, but they warned against losing the world in its pursuit. Your drive is your glory, but it's also your blind spot. Relationships wither, health frays, all while you chase the next conquest. You're not failing, you're forging, but at what cost? The paradox stinks, your greatest strength can break you. A king without a court is just a man shouting into the void. The Stoics knew balance isn't betrayal, it's strategy. You don't need to abandon your fire, You need to tend it so it warms, not consumes. See the ones who stand with you, friends, family, your own body. They're not distractions, they're your foundation. Reclaim your kingdom by redirecting your focus. The Stoics didn't just chase goals, they built lives. Let your obsession serve you, not rule you. Pause to eat, to laugh, to love, not as weakness but as fuel. You're not just a conqueror, you're a creator. Build a legacy that includes those who matter, and your crown will shine brighter. Midway, let's pause, the lone wolf's confession. You're here alone with this truth, and that's no accident. You've chosen the quiet, tasted the weight of your own shadow. This isn't for the crowd, it's for the man who knows the cost of his silence. What you do with this mirror, that's your move. Now 6. The Invisible Exile. This isn't loneliness craving company, it's the ache of knowing no one will ever fully walk in your skin. You've known since you were young. Your soul sings a solitary note, a frequency others can't tune to. The Stoics made peace with this, finding clarity in the universe's quiet hum. You don't fear being alone. You thrive in it, sculpting truth from silence while others flee the void. Yet this clarity isolates. The world clings to noise, parties, chatter, crowds, to drown out the emptiness you've learned to call home. Your comfort in solitude unnerves them, a stoic strength they can't grasp. You're not broken for this, you're built for it, but the exile's price is distance from those who'd stand with you. Your temple of solitude is sacred, but it can feel like a cell. The power lies in turning this exile into a throne. The Stoics didn't shun connection, they chose it with purpose. You don't need to fill the void with noise, but a single bridge to another soul can amplify your clarity. You're not running from loneliness, you're mastering it. Let others see glimpses of your world, not to change you but to remind you, you're alone but not adrift. This balance is your art. The Stoics knew true strength isn't in isolation, but in weaving solitude with selective bonds. You don't need the world's echo, but you do need its pulse. Reach out, not from need but from power. You're not just an exile, you're a sovereign. Build your kingdom with those who see your light, and let the void sharpen your edge. Then 7. The observer's burden. You don't dive into life, you dissect it. A party's a study, a crisis a puzzle, emotion's a code to crack. This distance gives you clarity others lack, a stoic lens that sees through the chaos. But it starves your heart. You map a lover's tears but miss the moment to hold them. You solve conflicts but forget to feel them. You're not cold, you're cautious, but caution isn't living. This detachment is your strength and your shackle. You see the world's gears turning, a stoic gift of reason over reaction. But life isn't just a machine to understand, it's a fire to feel. You stand outside, tallying moves while others dance in the mess. The Stoics warned, wisdom without warmth is a half-life. You're not weak for this, you're wired to analyze, but analysis isn't experience. Step into the fray sometimes. The Stoics didn't just observe fate, they met it head-on. You don't need to lose your clarity to feel the heat of a moment. Hug the friend, kiss the lover, rage when it's time, not as surrender but as strength. Your lens is your power, don't let it blind you to the pulse of life. The shift is simple but brutal, presence over perspective. The Stoics lived reason but they also lived fully, blood, sweat and all. You're not just an observer, you're a man. Let the world's mess touch you, not to break you but to remind you you're alive. Drop the clipboard and step into the painting. Here's 8. The Solitude Tax. Solitude is your forge, ideas spark, plans solidify, your genius burns bright. But stretch it too long and it corrodes. You vanish into your cave, chasing a vision, only to emerge and find the world moved on. Friends silent, not from anger but neglect. You didn't mean to shut them out, you were just breathing. The Stoics valued retreat, but they knew man is tethered to others even in silence. This tax compounds quietly. Short bursts of solitude fuel you, but months of it dull your empathy, leaving you a stranger to those who matter. You're not rejecting them, you're lost in your fire, but they don't know that. The Stoics taught that connection isn't weakness, it's a choice. You don't need to live in the crowd, but you can't thrive without a tribe. Reentry is the battle. Reaching out feels like labor when your mind's on your mission, but the Stoics didn't shun effort, they directed it. A call, a coffee, a shared laugh, these aren't distractions, they're anchors. Neglect them too long and you return to ghosts. Your solitude is your strength, don't let it become your exile. The fix isn't surrender, it's strategy. The Stoics built lives, not just ideas. You're not less for needing others, you're more for choosing them wisely. Keep your cave but visit the world. You're not just a lone wolf, you're a leader. Forge bonds that fuel your fire, and your genius will burn brighter. Now 9. The Stoics trap. You don't feel emotions, you dissect them. Anger's a signal, love a lesson, pain a puzzle. This control is your edge, a Stoic mastery of self over chaos, but it's a tightrope. Your body keeps score when your mind won't, stress knots your gut, rage blindsides you. You're not suppressing, you're analyzing, but analysis can't bury what's human. This trap is subtle but savage. You turn heartbreak into a flowchart, but your heart still bleeds. The Stoics didn't deny feeling, they channeled it. Your strength is in reasoning through the storm, but storms need to be felt, not just mapped. Ignore them and they'll erupt. Sleepless nights, clenched fists, a body screaming what your mind won't hear. The way out is to lean in. The Stoics didn't outthink pain, they faced it, let it burn, then built from the ash. Feel the fire before you study its shape. Let anger roar before you tame it. You're not weak for feeling, you're human for it. Your mind is your sword, your heart is its edge. Sharpen both. This balance is your power. The Stoics lived fully, reason and rawness entwined. You don't need to drown in emotion, but you must swim in it sometimes. Let the earthquake shake you before you chart its faults. You're not just a thinker, you're a man alive. Feel the pulse and your strength will soar. Next 10. The Unbowed blade. You don't bend to chains, bosses, rules, systems that demand your soul. You'd burn a golden opportunity before bowing to a script you didn't write. This isn't rebellion, it's a Stoic refusal to trade truth for comfort. But freedom has a price. Doors slam when you won't kneel, jobs fade, paths narrow. You're not wrong, you're uncompromising, but not every hill is worth dying on. This defiance is your fire. You see through the world's games, a Stoic clarity that cuts through lies. But clarity can blind you, opportunities die when you reject the system outright. The Stoics pick their battles, bending only to rise higher. You don't need to bow to fools, but you can play their game to win your own. The art is in strategy, not surrender. The Stoics didn't fight every wind, they sailed with it when it served. A compromise isn't a cage if it's a step toward your goal. Choose your wars like a samurai, sharp, deliberate, deadly. Your truth is your blade, don't let it cut off your climb. You're not just defiant, you're sovereign. The Stoics knew freedom isn't just saying no, it's saying yes on your terms. Use authority when it fuels you, not when it binds you. You're not here to break chains, you're here to forge your own. Wield your blade with precision and carve your path. Finally, 11. The Kingdom of One. Asking for help feels like treason against your soul. You'd bleed out before calling for aid, not from pride, but from a forged belief you're enough. This builds wonders. Empires rise from your will, a Stoic monument to self-reliance. Yet it blinds you, loved ones drift, feeling unneeded while you marvel at why they're gone. This hyper-independence is your crown and your cage. You don't need others to stand, but you rob them of the chance to lift you higher. The Stoics knew no man is an island. Strength grows through alliance. You're not weak for leaning on someone, you're wise for choosing who. Your kingdom thrives not just on your will, but on the loyalty you inspire. The truth cuts, interdependence is power. The Stoics built with others, not against them. Letting someone hold the ladder doesn't diminish your climb, it extends it. Vulnerability isn't loss, it's a bridge to allies who amplify your fire. You're not just a lone king, you're a leader. Break the cage by choosing connection. The Stoics didn't fear reliance, they wielded it. You don't need to crumble your walls, but a single door can change your world. You're unstoppable alone, unbreakable with the right hands at your side. Build your kingdom with those who see your vision and reign. You've stared into the 11 weaknesses that shadow every Sigma male, not chains to bind you but chisels to shape your greatness. These aren't burdens, they're battles to win, raw stone for a stronger you. At the Sigma male community, we don't just name the shadows, we light the path to conquer them. This isn't the end, it's your spark. Smash that like button if you're ready to turn these truths into power. Drop a comment. Tell me which weakness hit you hardest and how you'll fight back. Share this with a Sigma brother who needs the fire. If you're subscribed, hit that bell, because at the Sigma male community, we're not done forging you into the man you were born to be. Stay sharp, stay sovereign, and let's rise together.